After weeks of silence, former President Joe Biden re-emerged in Chicago with a low-key speech critics say was more about political nostalgia than national vision. Framed as a warning about Trump's destruction, the remarks offered little more than tired talking points and emotional appeals. For all the moral posturing, what Biden's return truly revealed was a familiar theme: a man no longer leading, but clinging to the rhetoric of a fading political era. The last time Joe Biden took the stage in Chicago, he was still president, headlining the opening night of the Democratic National Convention. It was a carefully orchestrated passing of the torch, with thousands of cheering Democrats waving signs and celebrating party unity on the surface, at least. Behind the scenes, it was the closing act of an administration marked by division, inflation, and strategic confusion. This time, the lights were dimmer both literally and figuratively. No roaring crowds, no sweeping rhetoric. Just a modest gathering of roughly 200 disability advocates in a third-floor hotel ballroom, where Biden delivered his first publicized remarks since leaving the White House. Instead of legacy-shaping substance, it was more of the same: recycled talking points, partisan jabs, and a return to the political playbook of yesteryear. For about 30 minutes, Biden spoke about threats to Social Security, a familiar theme throughout his long career in Washington. He praised his own record and framed the program not as a fiscal contract, but as a sacred promise. That promise, however, is increasingly backed by iOS and headed toward insolvency, raising the question: who exactly is Biden promising, and with whose money? Without naming Donald Trump, Biden accused the current president of trying to gut Social Security and spreading fear among its recipients. Less than 100 days, and this administration has caused so much damage, so much destruction, he said. Strong words, but coming from a man whose administration oversaw record deficits and a crisis of confidence in America's future, they ring hollow. Biden also mocked Trump and tech entrepreneur Elon Musk for raising concerns that Social Security benefits are being sent to people listed as over 100 years old. Biden joked he'd like to meet them and learn the secret to long life, but the joke might be on taxpayers. A 2023 Inspector General report confirmed that nearly 19 million records in the Social Security system had no documented death data, underscoring the exact bureaucratic dysfunction Trump's team is trying to fix. In fact, under Musk's push for smarter government, the Social Security Administration is trimming unnecessary staff, modernizing communication systems, and closing outdated local offices, not to cut benefits, but to improve efficiency. Biden's framing suggests cruelty, the data suggests competence. Anticipating Biden's attacks, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt reaffirmed Trump's commitment to protecting Social Security for law-abiding, tax-paying American citizens and seniors who paid into the program. She reminded Americans that Trump not only campaigned on this promise, he delivered on it in his first term and intends to do so again. Just before Biden's speech, Trump issued a memo reinforcing his stance: illegal immigrants should not receive Social Security, and fraud should be prosecuted more aggressively. It's a proactive, common-sense approach, something voters have come to expect from Trump and sorely missed during Biden's tenure. This wasn't a speech that defined a legacy. It was a typical post office gig, a paid address to an advocacy group, more transactional than transformative. Neither Biden's team nor the event organizers disclosed his speaking fee. He also criticized the tone of the current administration, claiming it lacks empathy and embraces cruelty. Yet the policies coming from the Trump administration, tough on crime, firm on borders, and pro-growth, reflect the concerns of working Americans. Biden's remarks felt more like moral grandstanding than meaningful insight. The rest of the conference focused on niche issues: telemarketing regulations and client relations techniques. Hardly the venue for a former president seeking to reclaim relevance on the national stage. The organizing group, ACRD, billed the speech as Biden's first public remarks since leaving office, though his team disputes that. He's spoken twice before, albeit quietly. The contrast with Barack Obama, who gave a thoughtful, civic-minded speech at the University of Chicago after leaving office, is striking. Levitt couldn't resist a final jab at Biden's age. "I'm shocked he's speaking at night. I thought his bedtime was earlier." In reality, the speech began at 5 p.m. early enough, but late for a man whose campaign often limited his public appearances before sundown. Still, Biden seemed more alert than during his final weeks in office. He used a teleprompter, but occasionally went off script. On stage, he whispered, then shouted, a familiar tactic meant to add drama where substance is thin. "Everyone deserves to be treated with simple dignity," he said, voice raised. But dignity, like social security, means little if not backed by results. In his closing remarks, Biden lamented the nation's deep divisions. "We've never been this divided," he said. But one can't help but wonder who helped divide it. A president who spoke of unity but governed with moral arrogance and partisan disdain may now find himself a symbol of the very fracture he once promised to heal.